So this basically, let's finish what we were talking about. If I just want people to understand that, again, we pick and choose. We pick and choose what we're okay with. We pick and choose to what we'll deem. And I'm just like, y'all, what are we doing? Honestly, what are we doing? What are we doing? Can you see? I hope y'all can see me and hear me. But it's like, what are we doing? How are we going to fix this? No one's willing to say, you know what, King, you right. Tomorrow, you right. I agree with you. No one's willing to say that. No one's willing to say it because we're stuck on personalities. We're stuck on people and their particular way of living. We're stuck on those things. We're not even at a place where we want to say, you know what? Let's do like the Bible says, and let's come together. Let's reason. Let's work out our own personal problems, and let's try to get this thing worked out and fixed and together. No one wants to do that. No one wants to do it. Why they don't want to do it? I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. They don't want to do it to me. Now, I said I couldn't tell you, but honestly, I can. They don't want to do it because they choose. Now, I forgot what that one who was talking about somebody got fired. Y'all send me a text message right there, that number right there. People pick and choose. They pick and choose what they'll accept and what they won't accept. It's people just like her who'll sit up there and they act straight, but they're a whole lesbian behind closed doors. They pick and choose. Now, mind you, this ain't something I heard. This is something I know. I've seen this mess with my own eyes. Individuals and pastors and preachers and all this other stuff, they'll tell you how much they hate the homosexuals and all this other stuff like that. But baby, they're a whole homosexual when they get home. Baby, while they preaching, baby, they got that cellophone just like this. And God said, yeah, God, oh, Lord. How they sit up and text and they boo at the same time. And meet me at 10 because I'm gone. No, see. If I gotta live right, if I have to stop hoeing, you gotta stop hoeing too. Just plain and simple as that. Like, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts or anything like that. Like, let's stop. But again, the situation is this. These individuals are going to continue doing what they want to do. We can say all day long, hey, we need to stop. How these folks going to keep on preaching. And really, honestly, it is hate. It is hate. It is hatred. Because if I'm going to preach Jesus, then the way Jesus came and ministered to the people was nothing like what we're doing right now. Nothing like what we're doing right now. And I apologize, y'all. I just got a lot that's on my mind right now, and I really want to share it. Again, I say some of the things that you don't say. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. All these fools going to be at the Ephesians 4 and 11 conference with Kim Burrell this week. She going to be there. And I'm going to tell Kim, is this the right one? Hold on.
Okay.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr. Secretary, the time below.
Okay.
That's what redeem my time. Redeem my time. That's what I'm feeling right now. Just redeem my time. I don't even want to be bothered. I don't care. I'm just coming here so I can. I don't want to come because I don't want to sit up and lose no more time. Now, what's the crazy part about her whole Ephesians 4 and 11 or 12, 13, 16, whatever name it is, the whole crazy part about it is You have, and I love James Hall. I love James Hall. I'm gonna make that very plain. I love James Hall. But you have a man that was just in a whole scandal, whether it was true or not true, but we know better, of being in a relationship with a bishop. But you got him on your panel. Baby, a whole bunch of these folks that's on your roster, there's some homosexuals too. But again, you pick and choose. You pick and choose. Probably I know. You pick and choose what you will fool with and what you won't fool with. See, because these folks, that's my boy, that's my... Well, it don't matter. It don't matter. If you say that you don't... If you say it goes against your doctrine, this is what I teach, this is what I teach, this is what the Lord gave me, this is what I... If this is all what the Lord so-called gave you, why you fooling with the folks then? I just want to know. I just want to know. Because if you say you teach against all this, then why you got all these people on your roster? Javis Mays and all these other people coming to your conference and your shindig and Kano. Why do you have them there? I mean, like, and I want y'all to understand this. Yes, dead serious. I want y'all to understand something. That these individuals, let me tell you something about. I'm gonna tell you something about the LGBTQ folks. Let me tell you something. A lot of people have learned how to live in secrecy and hide their business, just like straight folks know how to hide their business. A lot of people like to hide their business because they just clearly don't want nobody in their business. And that, I love it. I agree with it. I'm okay with that. But then at the same time, you can't sit up here and you can't sit up here and be like, I'm going to teach against something, but then I'm going to live something else. That's double standard. That's double standard. And if you read your word, he said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I can't fool with you. I can't fool with you. I don't want to be around people who are double standard. So then, here we go. If your favorite artist, you know he has a boyfriend, or you know he mess around, and the moment that they part their lips and say, we bind the spirit of homosexualism, it makes me stop and say, okay, hold up. Now, I done heard about you already. We indulge these individuals. Because they're great singers, artists. I don't want to hear you preaching foolishness that you've been taught at a concert. Just get up there and sing. Just sing. And then you say things like, we bind that spirit. Remember Ty Cobb and Ty Trippett got up there and said all that? We bind the spirit. You say this stuff, but then we know that you're a whole gay thought outside the church and in the church, mind you. We know. But you get up here and say this stuff, and it's like, what? I mean, what you trying to prove? Who are you trying to prove something to? I'm listening. I'm waiting for the answer because I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm confused as to why. I'm confused as to why we choose to beat up ourselves based upon what somebody else has taught us. Now, like I always tell y'all, especially on Freaky Fridays, I always tell y'all it's very important to be safe and to live a life of being safe. The reason why the gays, no matter whether male or female, do what they do, and some of them end up getting caught up with diseases, and the straight ones too, end up getting caught up with disease, is because they're taught to stay hidden. They're taught to hide. They believe they're an abomination. They think they're going to hell. God don't love me, so I might as well just stay on out here and just screw up it with everybody. And if I catch some, I'm just going to pass it along. Well, no. Well, see, again, that's that hatred that we're taught. You're taught to hate yourself. Baby, I don't care how fine let me tell you something. It's a bunch of fine folks out here. Fine. What? I mean, beautiful individuals. I'm sorry, male, female. But they're taught to hate themselves. Not directly, but indirectly. They're taught to hate themselves. They're taught that. They're taught to hate themselves because, hear me, because that's what the church does. Forget, we all supposed to love, baby, that love everybody. Love everybody. Yeah, I'm taught to love you. I'm taught to love you, but I really don't love you because I was taught that according to how you live, I can't fool with you. Do I talk about how you live? Do I talk about how you live? Do I talk about why you so angry with the gay? Are you angry with the gays because your son or daughter is gay, or you got an inkling in your mind, or your off discernment is telling you your son or your daughter's like? I'm trying to understand how is it that we could serve a God that tells us to embrace our brothers and our sisters with love and compassion and oneness, but yet and still we don't do it. We don't do it. We sit up here and we could go to church and put on a form of godliness, but we ain't got no power. We can shout and dance and speak in tongues and harabara shinga and rubu. We can do all of this, but yet and still, you ain't got no love for that young man that just came, or that young girl, woman, or whatever that just came in church. Young girl may have a little pimp in her step. Young boy may have a little switch. It don't matter what you think about them. And this ain't about who gay. This ain't about that. My question is, I question our Christianity, the Christianity faith versus everything else. I question that Christianity faith and that lifestyle, because Christianity is a lifestyle too. Okay? That's lifestyle. Hello. I question that because if we say that we love God, and we still hate our brother and our sister, we say that we love God, but I can't even go shake the sister who is a lesbian. I can't even go shake her hand. We say that we love God, but the woman who is screwing with the pastor, I can't even embrace her and just speak a special prayer over her life. Like, my prayer is, okay, Lord, whatever needs to be done in their life, I just want you to work it out. Boom. Not God, touch right now. You see what they in. You see. No. See, that's not how you pray. That's not how you pray, because if you're going to pray for somebody, you pray for them with the sincerity of love in your heart. See, love covers a multitude. I'm going to give you some Bible. Love covers a multitude of fault. Let love be without dissimulation. Abort that which is evil. Now, if that's the type of love that we're supposed to have, what's the problem? What's the problem? Why is it that it's so hard for us to exemplify what we preach? I'm just saying, why is it so hard for us to actually walk out? Why is it that it's so hard for us to actually walk out what we say that we're preaching? Here it is. It's so hard for us. It's so hard for us to love our neighbors because we actually don't love our neighbors. You don't know them mofos. You don't know them. I can't love them. I don't even know them. Well, that's what love is. I don't know you, but I love you, and it's sincere. You got individuals who come to your church. I don't know you. I love you. And I love you with the love of the Lord. Man, if you don't get out of here with that mess, let me tell you right now. Your love should be felt. When you hug somebody, your love should exude from you. For real. Your love should just come out of you, and people should just feel your love when you hug them. But see, again, Christianity, we're taught to have a form, not the real thing, because you ain't got to love everybody. Or you just say, I love you with the love of the Lord. I love you. No. I love you. I love you like Jesus said to live. I'm going to love you with the love of God, and we just going to go on. If that was the case, okay, so, let me say this. So, I told y'all, and I had this conversation over the weekend too, but I've just been talking all weekend long. So, the situation, I keep telling people, I'm honestly praying for Matthew Stevenson because he is an awesome preacher. He is an awesome preacher. I missed the service I guess he had here, and Ronzel Preplo never called me. So, whatever. Some people say they want to do something, and they don't actually mean what they say. They just want to talk a good game. But I pray for Matthew because I think that he is doing a great work. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he is doing a great work. The problem is this. In a lot of things that he says and a lot of things that he does, he is very arrogant and a little cocky with it. I was told, because I know people that live in Chicago and they go to the church or visit church, that the people there are very condescending, arrogant, stuck up, holier than thou. And see, my thing is, I just don't want nothing to happen to you, sir. You and your wife and your congregation. See, it's a thing called humility, like for real humility. It's humility. You can't just speak humility. Again, hold on, let me.
Okay.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr. Secretary,
you can't just speak humility. You got to actually live in humility. And I think the messages that he preached are awesome. Awesome messages. Awesome messages. You said he lied. Oh, Lord. Awesome messages. But again, how you come off and what you say, I want to be able to find a preacher that is actually doing what they say that they do. You get what I'm saying? Like, you actually love your wife for real. You actually go home to your wife for real, or your husband for real. Like, you're not stopping by the Renaissance or Motel Cupid, or the Radisson or the W or Hotel Chicago. I don't know. I want to find somebody who I can actually follow you 24/7, and you actually do what you say that you're doing, and you're living what you say that you're living. Because if not, I would hate to follow you 2 years down the road from now, and then next thing you know, you're the next person that's on William McCrae's blog, or you're the next person that's in a huge scandal, or you're the next person that the church is talking about now. Oh, Ronzo Preplo lied. Oh, okay. Well, see, those are just things that he told me. But see, that's my situation. And see, what's happening is, every time these individuals and these preachers get up talking all this mess, then there is, shortly right after that, there is a huge fall. Earl Carter got up there talking all that stuff. And see, I know Earl Carter because, my family used to be at his church years ago when we first moved to Orlando. We used to go to, Earl Carter's church. So, and I know his kids and everything like that. My question is, why are you so hard on the gays? What makes you say that a man gonna bleed from his butt? What makes you get up and in the pulpit and preach stuff that comes off so derogatory and hateful and malice and full of just foolishness? Now, if you're gonna preach, it's one thing to preach. It's another thing. Hold on, Ramona. It's another thing to sit up here and educate people on stuff. I'm not going to get up and say, oh, you having sex with another man, you going to bleed from your butt. Well, of course, women bleed too from their coochie. I mean, when you having stuff inserted in there, you going to bleed too. So my thing is, I have to wonder, like, okay, so is EJ gay? I forgot the girl's name, but that's his son, EJ. And I grew up around them for a long time. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. So I'm like, okay, is the girl, did she come on over to liking girls? Did the boy, did he just, is that why you mad? I'm just trying to understand what's going on. Fred Price, I ain't heard nothing else. I don't know. Some people are saying that, he messing with women and all. The man stepped down. And he did what he wanted to do. And, I think he did it because he did not want anything to come out anymore. Or he did not want anything to be said or whatever the case may be. So he decided before anything else happens, like I told y'all in the last two videos, before anything happens, let me go ahead and just step down so I can get myself together. He's dealing with, all the stuff with his dad and mom being sick. But I thought it was kind of crazy that your mom and dad is sick. Now they're having to step back in because you're stepping down. I thought it was crazy. But, hey, that ain't my church. That's y'all church. That's your mom and dad's church and your church. So it's like, whatever. But again, y'all, it's very difficult in the Christian faith when we don't have standard, we don't live what we preach, and we are double-minded. And yet and still we ask for money. And crazy individuals keep giving. Now, mind you, my ministry, this is my ministry. United Kingdom Ministry. This is my ministries right here. This is what I do. I get on here and I slick preach. I try to give y'all that, a glimpse of my life all this weekend. I try to let y'all see that at least, hey, I do know how to preach. Thank you, Rose. That's my ministry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want me to, per se, come to their church because they feel as though I'm going to say, all the gays in church, you can live free. Well, honey, I don't preach gay. I don't preach how people need to live. That's not my job. My job is not to come into church and preach what you need to do in your household. My job is to preach either a correction message or to preach a rejoicing message and let's go home. That's my job. You getting caught up in all this other foolishness about what somebody need to do in their home. I don't care what you do in your home. You know why I don't care? That ain't my home. It ain't my home. You do what you got to do at your house. Again.
Okay.
Reclaiming
Matter of
my
fact,
time.
Mr. Secretary,
I'm just saying. If... Wait a minute, Renee, what you asking me? Hold on, you asked me a question. Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. So, you know, and military was like, y'all pay y'all tithes to Demar. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right here, right now. I'm gonna tell you this. If somebody was to pay me money, and I'm making $3,000-$4,000 a month, and people just sending me money and being a giving and a donation, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? Everything that I tell you that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it. If I tell you I'm gonna go get a new computer, I'm gonna show you the new computer. If I tell you that I'm gonna go get some camera equipment so I can set up and all, I'm gonna do exactly that. Why? Because you want the best. You want to see me do X, Y, Z, and I want to show you what I'm doing. Okay, Ruby, you need to put your phone on the charger and don't let it die now. Don't let it die. So, again, see, the issue is, for years, we give our money to these big name pastors. Now they got all these, you know, they got 4, 5 houses, and you still poor. They got this, they got that, they got all this stuff, and you still can't even make your ends meet. You call them for prayer, you can't even get in touch with them. You got to call the 1-800 prayer line. Like, who does that? Like, who does that? And I understand that when your ministry gets large, a lot of the people can't touch you. I get that. I do get it. I do get that because it's a reality. It's a reality. The bigger your church is, you have to have extra people in place. Extra people in place to be your hands and your arms and your legs. You got to have that. Because, like, you can't be a personal pastor. No, Ramona, she asked for $200,000. You can't be a pastor, a personal pastor to 30,000 members, like T.D. Jakes. People are upset because T.D. Jakes' church is ran like this and it's ran like that. Baby, that is a business/church. That's a business/church. And he can't touch everybody. He cannot touch everybody. He just can't. It won't happen. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you feel about it. Like, he can't touch everybody. That's why he got pastors in place. So, my thing is that, again, like I said, when I'm in a point where I got 100,000 people on here and I'm trying to talk to everybody and, get on here and do what I do, I can't see all the comments. I can't talk to everybody. I can't. I mean, honestly, like, do I want people to patronize and do this and do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want to be those preachers that sit up here and lie to the people just for the sake of your patronism. I don't want to do that because, I was a part of that stuff. I went to churches like that, and it's difficult. It's difficult when you go to churches where they preach a bunch of love, hatred. Do y'all get what I'm saying? They preach a bunch of love, hatred. They preach a bunch of self-righteousness. They preach a bunch of things that you're just like, now what? Now say that again now? I mean, it make you scratch your head and be like, is this Christianity? Is this living a life for Christ? Listen, Juanita can open the lines with 3 with me, and I hope they ask him about them books. I hope that, I'm telling you the truth right now. Like I told Juanita, I want her to call my name. You know what I'm saying? You know, all these little people that she's sending my way, and you supposed to be sitting up here, supposed to be a Christian woman, but you're sitting here lying to your followers, and you're not even telling them the truth. This is why I have an issue with our Christian faith. You're out here lying, and I mean lying. And yet and still, you want to be on 3 with me, and you got these fools out here tonight. Mama B got clothesline. She got a clothing line. Why don't y'all listen? Why don't she just go and start selling vibrators and dildos and carrying on? Just go and do that. You know, why don't you just tell the folks that, you know, some of your staff that you done had on staff that you're licking pussy? Why don't you just be honest? But you ain't gonna tell that. You're not gonna tell that. You know why? Because you'll lose your following. You had to use people to get you back in somewhat of a place that you used to be. Thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people would come to conferences and things. They don't do it anymore because they know good and well they're going to get found out. That's just the way that it is. They're going to get found out. And the individuals that follow them, that really follow them, and they see them for the life that they live, they already know like what the real deal is. Like there are individuals who have been with one, not I ain't talking about sexually, but I'm saying there are individuals who have been in her camp. There are individuals who have been with, you know, like people like Todd Hall and Brian, and they know what they're like outside of preaching. They already know that. Like, they know this already. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. They know this already. But, again now, they try to keep people around because they don't want you telling their business. Does that make sense? They don't want you telling their business. So therefore, they'll keep going. They'll keep talking junk and everything like that. But it's like, you know, how can I expect you to be free if I'm not free? I hope that makes sense. How can I expect you to be free if I'm not free? I'm still hiding. Hold on. I'm still hiding. I want you, and I'm going to tell you to be free, but I want you to do like what I'm doing. Sayan, Dasham, hit that number, go right there, hold on. Text me, that's what you do, and make sure you put your name and stuff right there, just text me. It's hard for people to tell you about freedom. Hey, Nicole, it's hard for people to tell you about freedom when they're not free. How I'm going to be a slave, and I'm talking about you need to go and get your life right with God. And see, the master said we can't go do the master. I'm telling you as a slave what you need to do, and I'm still bound. You know, I mean, maybe I just need to get on here and sip some wine, because a lot of these folks out here whining, so I'm going to sip on this wine, and I'm going to whine too. I'm going to wind up, turn up, and just spill. How are these people going to call people to God and tell people you need to be free, and they not free? You want to tell people they need to be delivered. I've never been to, matter of fact, I've never been to Texas. I've never been to Texas at all. Never been there at all. Never been there at all. I would love to go to Texas and visit the Potter House, but one day. But again, y'all, like, how am I going to tell people to be free and I'm out here doing crazy stuff. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Like, just hear the logic. Again, I'm questioning the Christian faith versus everything else. That's the topic. So it's like, how are people going to tell you to be free, y'all, and they're not free? Like, how is that going to work? I'm going to tell you, you need to pay your tithes and offerings. Well, who you pay your tithes and offerings to? Yourself? Well, what is that? I mean, help me understand your logic, because right about now I'm a little confused. I am confused as to what's really going on. Nobody's living anything. You ain't living a nickel's worth dog food, and yet and still you want to sit up here and tell me what I need to do. And I'm just like, hey, Christopher. Okay, Bridget. When I come to Dallas, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna let everybody know, or just text me. I think you sent me your stuff. Y'all got to go through a long list of stuff. I'm still writing folks' telephone numbers and all kind of stuff down so I can get all this stuff. I work hard, because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna ask y'all. I promise you, I wouldn't ask you for anything if I'm not gonna do exactly what I tell y'all I'm gonna do. It's not fair. It's not fair, for people who don't really have it. And people say, well, what's your vendetta against Juanita? I wouldn't call it a vendetta. My issue is this. There are women out here and men that work very hard. They work very hard for their money. Hear me again. They work very hard for their money. They have a family. They have children at home that they have to take care of. Do y'all hear me? They have children that they have to take care of. And these individuals, honey, care nothing about that. Care nothing about that. They will take your money and they will profit lie to you, and they'll go home to their plush homes and their Ferraris and Bentleys and Ladaddy. What about that? I mean, they'll go home to their wonderful living while you still go to your Section 8 apartment, and you still living in the hood, and you still driving a 94 Honda Accord or a little Pinto, or you driving a Crown Vic, old box Crown Vic. But I'm going to prophesy over you. No. I don't want you to prophesy over my life. I don't. I don't. Because if you're not going to come to me in truth, don't touch me. Don't touch me again.
Okay.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr. Secretary, the time.
I don't want you touching me. I don't want you touching me, because I don't want that's possessing you to do all of this debauchery. I don't want that over my life. I don't want it over my life. Like, again, I think I'm a good preacher. I really do. I think I'm a good preacher. Let me see, when was the last time I preached? Probably a couple months ago. Something like that. Well, I try to preach every time I get up. How about that? That's one of them old jack legs. They get up every time they get the mic. They want to have something to stir the crowd up. I'm the hype man. But I'm not them type of preachers that, like, I want to have my own ministry. I want to have my own church. I don't. Church is, at this point in life, is a huge turnoff. It's a huge turnoff. Huge turnoff. Huge. It's a huge turnoff. It's a huge turnoff. How can I ask somebody to come to my church and, give your life to the Lord and sit up under my ministry when my pastor is out here whole freaking thought? How? How can I ask you or say, hey, come to my church? Oh, baby, it goes for the inclusive folks, inclusive church too. Listen, you don't sit up here and just because the laws of the land say you can sit up here and get married, but you married now and you still out here hoeing. Now, I ain't called no names on that one. I kind of should. But you don't sit up here. Again, it's this teaching. I ask you to come to church and we have a standard of living. I talk to you about living right, but I can't even do it myself. I can't even do it myself. I want you to come to my church and be a part of my church. And I'm gonna put this out here. I'm married to a man, but I'm out here cheating on my husband, or a woman, she cheating on her wife, and you got these inclusive men, and you're no better. You are no better. You're no better than the individuals. You're no better than the individuals that you're talking about. Let me give you a little bit more. How you gonna be an inclusive ministry and now you talking about these straight folks out here, they coming against the gays and they coming against what they talk about God and everything. See, we ain't Kojic. But you're doing the same thing that the Kojic people do. You may not be married to a woman, but you married to a man, but you still sleep around on your husband. I mean, it's like what we doing? What are we really doing? Now, mind you, when all this stuff was going on the other week with Ronzel Preplo, Brian Carnes, and Matthew Stevenson, I asked a question. I was like, what are the white people doing right now? What are the white people doing right now? Shakina, there's that information right there. What are we doing? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that we're sitting here wanting to preach and we live nothing. We don't follow our own teaching. We don't live our own teaching. But it's all in, I got to tell you something to get your money. I'm sorry, y'all. No, I'm really not sorry. Sorry. But okay, I was reading comments. Okay. I feel like our Christian faith, babe, we so weak. We for real. We so weak. We so weak. We're so weak. I mean, I don't question the God that I serve. I question, why do I keep going? Why do I keep even partaking and being a part of all this stuff? Why live free? That's what I'm saying. Why do I keep trying? And I'm gonna tell you something. I grew up in church. I'm a church kid. I love church. That's been my life. Shakina, I'm so serious. Like, at the end of the day, y'all, like, I serve God because I have a relationship with Him. I have a relationship with God. You know, whatever you want to call him, he, him, her, whatever, she, I don't know. Because some people now, they want to call God her, I don't know, her, she, whatever, I don't know. Look, he is God to me. He's God to me. And what I'm supposed to do is exemplify who he is in my life. And so for the rest of these people out here, for the rest of these individuals out here who doing all this kind of crazy stuff, yes, I talked about that the last time, Bridget. Just like Brian Carnes out here talking about he don't wear no tight clothes. Boy, your parents is always in the crack of your behind. And then your little boy, what his name, Jonathan Ferguson, pants tight, look like the pant. Look. I'm just being real, y'all. I'm just being real. I think that we have really missed the mark as it relates to how we're supposed to exemplify who God is. Question, Josh. Yeah, Howard, it's really that bad. It's really that bad. Like, how can I exemplify Christ when I've made a whole mockery out of him? Hold on, Deborah said something. Deborah said, man is destroying what God has promised. I believe it is misinterpretation of scriptures plus greed and corruption. God did not intend for us to be feeling this way. I feel the same. Yeah. And I'm going to tell y'all right now. I don't know. No, I've never seen that. Letitia, I don't know. I guess I got to look her up, whatever. But I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to tell you right now. The representation that we're giving of God is not a good one. It's not a good one. You know why it's not a good one? Because we're losing people by the droves. They don't want to come. They don't want to come because if this is what I got to come to church and be a part of, you can miss me with that. Baby, I'll turn some good old Helen Baylor on or some Tasha Cobbs or somebody on, and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to worship God. I'm going to worship God right where I am. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to worship the Lord right where I am. I got to sit up here and give you my tithes and offering and carrying on, and you sitting up here, you getting fat off the hog or me, and we're not benefiting from nothing. The teaching that you teach us, it's not even good. You know how your mama cooks some food and you know it's some good cooking? You said, wait. Now I pledge in my sorority in college undergrad. My question is, why is it that same as if you're going to church intake? Listen, it's like that. Who said that? That was Manisha. Manisha, it's just like that. It's just like that. When being a part of the church that I definitely grew up in, being Kojic or Church of God in Christ, it's just like that. They used to say you can't join in it, you got to be born in it. This is the Church of God in Christ. Then they changed it to where God's anointed, God's appointed. This is the Church of God in Christ. That's what they changed it to. But see, here's my thing. If we're God's anointed, God appointed, we have to live and exemplify who we say that we serve. And that's just the truth. We have to live and exemplify what we say that we're living. What we say, we say that we serve God. We say that we preach in holiness. Well, you have got to, hey Johnny, You've got to exemplify. You've got to show what you're preaching. Some folks don't know what exemplify is. You got to show what you're preaching. If I say I don't eat all this fat and back and all this heart foolishness and carrying on, you can't catch me at the soul food restaurant and I'm stuffing my face. Again, it is a double standard and I'm lying. So that's my situation with Christianity. Christianity, like, if anything, the church is allowing or pushing forward for the misrepresentation that people are giving now. You're pushing for high suicide rates. You're pushing for high depression rates. You're pushing for preachers to go commit suicide. You remember like Zachary Timms? Zachary Timms committed suicide because he really couldn't talk to nobody. Had a problem. Honey, you sleeping with women outside your wife and sleeping with a stripper and carrying on, and you snorting cocaine? You need to talk to somebody. Okay, Ruby, you can catch when I get off, okay? So, again, y'all, this is my thing. Church, it's not church anymore. It's a social club. It's a social club. It's a social club. It's a corporate entity. It's big business. That's why everybody want a church. They want a church because they want to be in big business, just like all these big name preachers. Well, let me help you. He was snorting crack. I don't know if he was smoking crack. He was snorting crack. But let me help you. Let me help you. Everybody's not going to be T.D. Jakes. Everybody's not going to be Juanita Bynum. Everybody is not going to be Brian Carnes. It just won't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. You know why? I do believe God placed these people here to do a work. And I'm not saying this about Bishop Jakes. I think Bishop has become very liberal. Katrina, I don't know why the man was smoking crack, but he was smoking crack. They found him on an OD. They found him with an overdose of crack cocaine. I believe Bishop Jakes has gotten to a point where he has become very liberal in his teaching because he realized, and it's not a bad thing, because if y'all really read Jesus was very liberal. Because why else? That's not the right grammar. Why would a multitude, 5,000 people, follow Jesus? Why would they follow Jesus? You know what? I don't want to be consecrated as a bishop. Boy, you silly. Why would 5,000 people follow Jesus? Why would 5,000 people want to stay stuck up under him? Every time they hear about Jesus coming to town, they got to get right there. They want to be where he is. They want to be where Jesus is. Why? Because of his message and his sincere love. What did Jesus do? Okay, hold on. What did Jesus do when he met the woman at the well? What did she do? What did he do? Jesus told her what she was doing. He didn't call her out of her name. He didn't call her derogatory things. None of that. He just said, what you're in, that's not yours. And the one you just came from, that ain't yours either. 4 or 5 other ones that ain't yours either. I love you, though. I love you. But I just want you to know, be made whole and go and sin no more. What preacher that you know talks to folks like that? What preacher that you know talks to people like that? I don't know too many. I don't know too many because they too busy trying to sleep with the woman. Oh, she got a fat butt. Oh, I want to see what that's like.
Okay.
Reclaiming
Matter of
my
fact,
time.
Mr. Secretary, the time.
Oh, this young man. Oh, he real sexy. Oh, he's sexy. Armor Bear, go bring that young man in my office. I would love to talk to him. God has a special anointment on his life. Baby, you get in that office, baby, it's going to be like you getting undressed with their eyes. It's sad. It's sad. But this is what we do. This is what we do, y'all. This is what we do. And Ramona, honestly, I think if a pastor can't preach without a Bible, you better have memorized, because I memorize scriptures. Like I may not give you the right number or the ticks, but I know what I'm talking about. Because one, I want you to go back and look it up for yourself. I want you to go look it up for yourself because, like, not only look it up in the Bible, but I want you to Google it. I want you to get another reference manual and look that up because I want you to be knowledgeable. I want you to be knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. I want you to be knowledgeable to the fact that you need to have good understanding because it said, study to show thyself approved, a worker not ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. It also said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Now, go study them scriptures because we sit up here and these folks can prophesy and say all kind of crazy stuff and we go right along with it. I question Christianity. I question Christianity because we're lacking. I don't care about her book praying from the 2nd, 3rd, 4th dimension. I don't care. Listen, my thing is, because we got this new, I think it came out around about the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, I'm going to another level. I'm going to another level. Well, how many levels we going? How many? I'm confused. Where are we going to? Now she's talking about we going out of space. I mean, is there going to be some property there that I need to buy? Because if I'm going out of space, I mean, am I going to be living there? Like, what's going on? Like, yeah, I do cite scriptures. I'm trying to understand why we, like, I don't mind going to another level in God, but, like, what's there? Help me understand. Don't just profit lie to me just to get my drawers off and get my money. I need to know exactly what's going on because I'm not getting anything. I'm not learning anything. All I'm getting right now is a bunch of hype and rhetoric, and it's really sad. It's really sad. It's sad that we've resulted to this. Nobody cares, no. Rose, that's true. That's true. Do you not understand that? And I love talking to you, and I hope y'all appreciate talking to me, and me sitting up here bumping my gums and stuff to y'all. But do you not understand that we live in a world Okay, so Nicole, I'm gonna answer this question like this. As far as Bishop Jakes goes, Bishop Jakes is a man. He said something about his son that was real sketchy. He said that, that ain't his son, that's his wife's son, whatever, because, Jamar is gay. But then he came back and he was talking about how, the church has to accept the gays. And I do believe that Bishop has become very liberal. And I don't want people to think that my live streams are about, LGBTQ only. I try to be general with everything. And I try to reach everything because Bishop has learned to be a very diverse person. It would be hard for him to have 30,000 plus members at his church and not be able to reach all, each one of those people, because yes, there are some gays that go to his church. Yes, there are some whites that go to his church. Probably so. Yes, there are Africans at his church. There is a diverse culture at Bishop Jakes' church. So you can't sit up here and preach a old rhetoric, or you can't preach something that was taught you by your grandpappy and his grandpappy. Baby, that stuff don't work. I can't condemn and tell you going to hell for every little thing you do. No. Honey, you gotta start. What about your own discernment? Do you got discernment? Do you have it? I mean, I'm just saying. Like, he's become very diverse, and he's like that because you're not going to have 30,000 people at your church and you up here preaching this foolishness. You're not going to do it. Like, no. And you can tell the people that preach that stuff, you going to hell. You going to, baby, you passing out hell like Oprah Winfrey was passing out cars. You get to hell. You get to hell. You get to hell. You get to hell. You get. Oh yeah, you going too. You going. Just pay attention. Those individuals who preach like that, church look like this. Church that small. And if you do have a nice sizely congregation, it makes me question and think, like, what's really going on? Are y'all cult? Like, what's up? Because how are you winning and saving souls? How are you saving souls and every word that comes out of your mouth is, you going to hell? How are you winning souls? That's all I'm saying. How are you winning souls? How are you saving souls? And I'm going to tell y'all something. Rose, I've been coaching my entire life. I've been Church of God in Christ my entire life. I have. I've been Church of God in Christ my entire life. I remember first hearing the homosexual message. I was in Minnesota at my old church. And I had to question. I was like, how are we preaching love? I mean, you preach against one thing, but then your choir director is this, which I love my choir director. My choir director, him, and this other lady, there was a choir director at the church. Nah, not yet. But they used to babysit me. And the sweetest people, when I tell you the sweetest people. But again, y'all, we make people feel like they're already damned. And this was my culture church. We get at these meetings and we don't preach restoration and redemption and God's love, and God can bring you out of anything and whatever you're dealing with, because we say, all this stuff is issues. These are not issues. These are not issues. You cannot tell me, because we talked about this last Wednesday, you cannot tell me that if you in the closet, DL, gay, or whatever, and you sucking dick on a regular, that's an issue. You can't tell. You cannot. And if you tell me that, I'm going to tell you to your face and on the phone, you a bold-faced lie. You cannot be a woman and you out here sleeping with other women in and every other day. That's an issue. That's not an issue. That's not a habit. That's something that you like to do. That's something that you like to do. Like, stop that. Oh, I got an issue smoking cigarettes. No. That's not an issue. That's not an issue. That's something that you like to do. That's something that I like to do. I can't say, oh, I got an issue buying shoes. I got a closet. No, that's something that I like to do. Again, when you're taught something, you continue doing it over and over and over again. This is what we're taught in Christianity. We're taught to learn how to manipulate our words to get a point across. Like, let me help you. Like, I may be married to a woman and I like to sleep with men, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to preach against the homosexuals because I don't want nobody to think that I'm gay. That's what we're taught. I may have a gambling issue. But I'm going to preach on gambling so people don't suspect I have a gambling issue. You live in 2017. This millennial generation, they're not going for it because they're going to ask questions. I've heard of Marcus Gill. I've heard of Marcus Thomas too. Leave that right there. But let me tell you like this, y'all. I'm going to tell you like this. If we continue with this, these millennials are not going to stick around. They're going to develop their own way. They're going to develop their own way and form of worshiping God. And you're going to have an issue with it. They say, well, how is Bishop Eddie Long? Baby, they still there. Them folks, they almost Pentecostal now. This man is shouting and dancing. Let me tell y'all something. Eddie Long was an amazing preacher. Even though he preached a bunch of rhetoric and foolishness, and he talked about the gays like he lost his mind, and then turned around and had this big old scandal about him out here laying with the boys. Listen, y'all, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, Bridget, again, and Kim said it. The reason why Kim Burrell, because that's the doctrine that we were brought up in. Kojic, Church of God in Christ people were brought up in that. We folks, well, I ain't gonna say I preach because I don't. People preach that stuff because that's what's taught to them. They don't read scriptures. They read scriptures enough to give you a message. They read messages, they read scripture long enough to give you a good Easter speech, and that's it. Once you get your Easter speech, they're going to go hit on. Collect that offering. I'm going to go get in my car. But see, I want y'all to understand something. This is our noonday tea, talk, rant, whatever you want to call it. I want y'all to understand something. That whatever we call the body of Christ, whatever, we're not representing God the right way. We're not representing the Lord the right way. And you know, somebody said, well, you ain't got this and you ain't got that type of following. Baby, I ain't worried about trying to have that type of following. I wish I did. I wish I did have 100,000 people following me every time I jump on. I got 100,000 people just. I wish. I wish. I wish. I wish. I ain't gonna lie. I wish I did. D, what you said to me? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Oh, somebody, D asked me about Jay-Z being played in church. Again, you have millennials that this is their way of worshiping and praising God. This is their way. They don't see anything wrong with, somebody praise dancing the higher or whatever they was praise dancing to. They don't have an issue with it because they understand, or either they're trying to understand the words and they're connecting to the words. See, because half of us, we don't listen to the words, we just listen to the beat. But see, this next generation, we're going to be held accountable because we didn't show them the right way. We didn't show them the right way. We're stuck on looking the part and not living the part. We're stuck on saying the right thing but not living the right thing. We're stuck on marrying the right person. We're stuck on, hey Terrence, we're stuck on, what am I trying to say? We're stuck on marrying to look the part, but you don't live the part. Because you gay and your wife gay too, your swangers and carrying on, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Whole bunch of stuff. All I'm saying, y'all, we're going to have to change up some stuff. We're going to have to change up some stuff. Now, I got 10,000, well, almost 11,000 people that are on here that follow me. Some people on here because they're ready for some tea, and I have the tea. Some people on here because they actually want to hear something that's going to edify them and bring them into a better place. I don't like preaching. I don't. I just like getting on here talking and giving y'all good stuff. I really do. I love to see people do better. Tim, I was in the car, but the car thing kept messing up. My service was awful. But I want us as a people to get to a better place. And I agree, Ramona. I do. I do believe, and I'm gonna tell you, Howard, baby, let 2.5 higher, let it happen, Jesus. Yes, God. Let me tell y'all something. I really believe that there is true repentance. I really believe whatever you were meant to be in your life, you're going to be that. Whatever it may be. But I will say this. Bridget, Rose, Grace, Tim, all y'all. I do believe this with my whole heart. Y'all gonna make me cry on this one. I do believe that when you come to God and you're real, I do believe that God, in sincerity, God can change you and He can make you and He can direct you into anything and wherever you need to go. I do believe that. I do believe it. But you got to do it because that's what you want to do. See, the reason why a lot of men are in relationships and they still sleeping around, because it's not in their heart. Timo, thank you. I know I have an anointing to preach. I don't like preaching because, and I'll say it like this, I don't like preaching because there's been so much wrong that has gone on in the house of God. There's been so much of hatred and foolishness spewed in the house of God. There's been so much going on in the house of God that it's such a turnoff. And it's like, how do I do what Jesus said and compel men to come? How do I do like what Rick Warren's dad said at the end of his book and save one more soul for Jesus? How do I do that when the people that I'm trying to compel, don't even want them? Because the people that's in the church are such a awful representation. I want to serve God, but I don't want to go to your church because your pastor's awful. Rose, it's like we've been in church our whole life. Well, I know I have. We've been in church our whole life. And everybody almost that gets up to preach has a double life. Like, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I'm honest with y'all. For real. I'm honest. I love God with my whole heart. What he tells me, I do. That's why I get on here talking to y'all. I do it. The way he deals with me and talks to me, like it's for real crazy. And hold on. How he deals with me. Hold on, Timo. What'd you say? Thanks, Timo. Thank you. And you know I get frustrated with you sometimes, but I love you anyways. And that's for real. How God deals with me, I can't speak for somebody else. You know. How the Lord deals with me is when he speaks, I hear it. I know he speaks. And when I was on my way to Florida, I'm going to say it like this. When I was on my way to Florida and I was going to actually have a conversation with my mom about everything, God was talking to me so strong, like about who I was called to minister to and to help save lives and stuff like that. All I could do was cry because I was like, God, who's going to receive me? Who's going to want to follow behind me? I mean, don't get twisted. I'm cute. Don't get twisted. I'm cute. But when you for real about Jesus and you got to present yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, it's hard. It's very difficult. That's why I say I appreciate y'all for following me. I can't see your faces, but I know, and I'm just like, thank you. But it's difficult. It's very difficult because everybody don't want it. And Tim, they don't want it because they're stuck on the outer appearance. They're stuck on the outer appearance. They're stuck on what they think they know. They stuck on all this other type of stuff. But one thing I can tell you about this, I ain't no hoe. I ain't no thought. I ain't out here in these streets. What I tell you, I actually do. Because I'm not about to do that. Well, see, Timo, here's the thing. My birthday is August 22nd, y'all. August 22nd. And I'm a borderline Virgo, too. I'm on that cusp. But, I like to keep it real. I like to be loyal. I like to be honest. I don't like people lying. I don't like people lying. You get what I'm saying? If I'm going to tell you something, I'm going to tell you something. I think throughout the time that I've been on YouTube, I've shared my entire life. I have. I've shared my entire life because before I get on here and somebody have to dig up my past, I'll tell you my past. I'll tell you what I've done, what I've been through, everything like that. I will. It don't matter. It does not matter. I'm going to be honest. I think it pays to be honest. It pays to be honest. It pays to be honest because if you're not honest, oh, your mom is August 20th? Hey. Because if you're not honest, whether you are not doing it no more or you just getting out of it or whatever the case may be, it may come back to visit you again. It may come back to visit you again. That's why you have to always say what you mean and mean what you say. Because either way it go, your past just may come back and haunt you. It may come back and visit you again. That's why we got to live what we preach. Or if you're not a preacher, you got to live what you say. Live what you teach. That's why some of these folks' children cussed them out and slapped them in the face, and the mom and daddies and stuff like that fight. Listen, you have to exemplify and live what you tell your children to do. Again, like I said, y'all can miss these children with do what I say, not what I do. Baby, that was about 50 years ago. That was what our parents and grandparents. See, I'm in my 30s, early 30s, young 30s. Them days, that was back then. You still got some folks who trying to do it now. But that do what I say, not what I do, this ain't that generation. Because they'll call you out on your stuff. They will call you out on your stuff. And then you be sitting there looking like, who you think you talk? I'm talking to you. See, the white folks and the white kids used to do that stuff now. You know, back then, you know, now the black folks, and I be sitting there looking like, what the world? No. Ooh, who in their late 40s? Tim, you in your late 40s? Oh, okay. Thank you, Katrina. Miss Powell, thank you. So what I'm saying, y'all, is, okay, Timo, you say yeah. That's the way to live. That's the way to live. Timo, that is the way to live. That's the way to live. I was taught by my grandmother and my aunt, because they were the ones who helped raise me and kept me in church all the time. You have to learn how to live what you preach. You have to learn how to love everybody. You have to learn how to embrace everybody. I remember I was probably 8, and I asked my grandmother, no, Tim, you in your 40s. I asked my grandmother about, I think back then it was called transvestites, a man who wants to be a woman or whatever the case may be. Oh, thank you, Ramona, thank you. But let me tell y'all something. I asked my grandmother about, at the time it was called men dressing as women, cross-dressers. This was what she said to me. This was, my grandma to my sex bugs. She said to me, she said, Mario, she said, God wants us to love everybody. She said, God wants us to love everybody. She said, now, because I go by what the Bible says, she said, if a man changes himself into a woman, this was back then, this was back in like the late 80s, if a man changes himself to a woman, the only thing that he can do in church. My birthday is August 22nd. She said if a man changes himself to a woman, the only thing that he can do in church is serve, and he can do anything he want to do. He just can't get married. Now that's what she said to me. She said, Mark, she said, because I think if he marries a man and doesn't tell him, then he's lying. Now that's what she told me. This is my grandma, my auntie them told me. But she said, Mark, you're supposed to love everybody, no matter what. And if I don't like it, it's my job. It's my job to at least show them the way. Because I can't show you the way when I'm too busy talking about what you're doing. I can't show you how to live a better life if I'm not living a better life. Hold on, y'all. I can't show you how to better your finances if I'm always scraping. It won't happen. Can't do it. Can't do it. If I'm going to preach to you, Ramona, don't pay no attention to Tim. Tim over here acting crazy. And you know the saying is, if I can't help you, I don't want to hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt you. But people are actually out here hurting people. That's all, y'all. That's all. I try to do these things because this is always on my heart. And I know that individuals, y'all like hearing what I got to say because I appreciate it. Y'all like hearing it because it's real stuff. And I'm trying to find programs that can help me host things that, you know, so I can just have stuff on here while I'm talking at the same time. So y'all don't ever miss anything. So like if I say this, that, third, you know, it'll be right up there. Some people. Yeah, that's true. So tomorrow we're going to be back to our Tuesdays, and then I'm going to cover what I was going to cover today, tomorrow. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be hot tomorrow or upset or how I'm feeling. I'm going to probably hit me a little prayer today because I think we should always pray. Prayer does something for you. Hear me down there. Prayer does something for you. It helps you connect with what's on the inside of you, and so that you can connect with God. Because in order for you to come before God, you got to be what? Real with yourself. Y'all hear me? You got to be real with yourself. You said not yet? But y'all, I'm being serious. Like, I think it's really important. And I got to hit them. I got to hit these knees today because I need to talk to God a little bit today. For real. I need to talk to him. It's a lot of things that I really have up before God, and I'm not doing this because I want to. I think it's fun. Again, like I said, I wish I was some of the people that was, you know, had 1 million followers and getting 1 million hits every time they drop a video. But y'all, my prayer is, I'm like, God, whatever you do, whatever you're doing for me, I want to be obedient in doing that. And I also want to make sure all my bills are met too. I want to make sure that all my needs are supplied. You know, I do believe that. I don't just say that, but I believe it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe if I do what he tells me to do, he's going to bless me. Because remember, I told y'all, if I give him this, he'll give me that. And I believe that. I really do believe it. I'm not going to be out here saying, y'all need to be praying. And I don't never part a lip to say, hey, God, what's up? How you doing? You know, I can't do that. Yeah. You know, I just really want y'all to understand that I live what I preach. I live what I preach. It's hard out here. It's hard out. I mean, like, seriously. And Ramona, sometimes, you know, I either hit them knees or I lay on the floor, face to the ground. And however I need to connect. I lay in my bed and pray. I walk around my house and pray. Listen, because it's important that we do a daily check of ourselves. You know, if you want to do a daily check, bi-weekly check, every 2 days check, whatever. Okay, I think I got my Twitter on here too. Twitter is King DeMario. I have to do a daily check. I have to do a daily check of myself because I'm going to tell y'all, my attitude is not always right. It's not always right. I agree with you, Ramona. I have to make sure I do a self-examination of myself all the time because my attitude ain't right sometimes. Sometimes I can be mean. Sometimes I can just, you know, have the wrong attitude. Sometimes, you know, I don't like fooling with Tim when he called me and I don't be feeling like it, you know, and he be like, what's wrong, you know, and Ken call or we be around each and, you know, or he be here or whatever the case may be. You know, my attitude can be wrong. And see, again, I can't preach to people about doing things right when I don't do things right. If I cross you the wrong way, I can't apologize. You get what I'm saying? If I say something nasty to you and it hurts your feelings and you come back and say, DeMario, I don't like what you said because, you know, that really hurt me. And I'm not just man enough, but I don't have enough God in me to say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I really wasn't trying to hurt your feelings, but I just want to apologize. You know, I meant what I said, but I just want to apologize. You know, it's never intended to hurt your feelings or anything like that, but I just want to apologize. Again, y'all, I have to question the Christian faith. I have to question the Christian faith because if we're supposedly Christians and we're out here cutting people up and chewing them up and spitting the bones out or spitting them out, anything like that, or we fishing and we gooding them without clean. I mean, we doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it's a bunch of people in the church that are dead. Not just dying. Some of them are dead. They don't have nothing else to give. Their whole compassion for who God is gone. Their whole love for who God is, it's gone. So it's like, how can I really love God when everything that I thought that I loved is wrong? How can I really know that God loves me and supports me when the people that are in front of me is a whole hot mess? And I know you're supposed to be living for yourself, but when you are pastors, you have a responsibility to the people that you shepherd. Some of the people that you shepherd are dumb sheep. Like, real talk. Like, some of us are smart. We smart. But you got some people who really do go off of, well, the pastor said. You got to live what you preach. Because those people are going to follow you in every single thing that you do and say. They're going to do exactly like what you said. That's why you can't be a wolf in sheep's clothing. You got to live what you preach. You got to. You got people out here who will never set foot in church again. They'll never step foot in church again. They'll never step foot in church again. And I do mean never. They'll never step foot in church again because they've been cut just that deep. They've been wounded just that bad. They've been wounded just that bad. You know, my grandma them sing a song, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I've been wounded in the army of the Lord. I've been wounded in the army. If I die, let me die in the army of the Lord. If I die, let me die in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army. Honey, people have been wounded, and there's nobody there to help heal them. They died in the army of the Lord. Nobody buried them. They stayed there and rotted. This is happening, and this is for real. I'm for real, y'all. I'm for real. My grandma used to sing that all the time, and when she sung it, she was singing in such a way. Oh, I ain't gonna do that. She was singing in such a way you felt like it was, I mean, even though it is real, but she was singing her soul. You know what I'm saying? You know, you sing certain songs and you just feel it, yeah, but you sing certain songs and that's your life. You get what I'm saying? Like Lamar, what's that man's name? Lamar something. The song says, I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you that I love you more than anything. Like, when I tell you, like, that's for real. Like, when I tell you that that's really my life, I love Jesus more than anything. And when you sing it, when I sing it, you sing it to a point where, like, you sing it from what's on the inside of you. You sing it from what's on the inside of you. It's just a song. I just sing that song. I like that song. No, that's my testimony. I love you, Jesus, more than anything. I love you, Jesus, more than whatever else. I love you. I love you no matter what car you give me, no matter what house, no matter whatever. I love you. And it gets real because you sing it long enough. You know how, for some of us used to be on altar tearing for the Holy Ghost, and we just, we finally catch it. We finally catch it. We just, it's like that when you sing it long enough, it takes over you, and you go somewhere. I don't know where you go, but you go somewhere, and it's real, honey. It's real. And when my grandma was singing, I'm a soldier. Baby, I was sitting on that beside her, and she was just singing, and they was playing, and tears started rolling down my eyes. Okay, I feel this thing coming now. I feel like crying. That thing started getting real because I could feel that's her testimony. I am a soldier in the army of the Lord. I am a true-born soldier. If I die, let me die in the army of the Lord. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. I've been wounded, yes, God, in the army of the Lord. I'm getting off here because I feel like I'm about to do something, and I don't. Oh my God, I'm so for real, y'all. I'm like, y'all, nothing can take away from them old songs that actually meant something. Like this stuff nowadays, it's got a nice little tune to it. But Helen Baylor sung a song. She came out with this song a while ago, and I was telling y'all the other day, If Ye Abide in Me, that's my song. I think that's my new song now. If ye abide in me and my word in you, you can ask what you will, and it shall be given unto you. That's my song. And I really believe that's what God gave me the other week before I started doing this live stuff every day. He just honestly said to me, if ye abide in me and my words abide, I'm play it for a little bit. My words abide in you, and you shall ask what you will, and it shall be given. Okay, I ain't gonna get no copyright straight. But for real, y'all, like let the songs that you sing, let them come from on the inside. I am an old soul, and I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I am an old soul. That's because I was raised up around old people. You know, I feel like God instilled that in me because I needed that. I can't be a part of this newfangled foolishness. I can reach the young people, but you have to be able to reach the old as well as the new. You have to be able to reach the young people and reach the old people, because the old folks, your grandma and granddaddy them and auntie and uncle them, baby, some of them were cut, left for dead, because there's been a whole lot of stuff that's going on, and they need somebody to reach back. They need somebody to reach back and get them. I can't speak for these pastors and stuff now, but as for me and my house, King Jive's house, I got to reach back and get them. They may not like everything that I do and say, but they'll get it along the way. They will. Again, if we abide in him and he abides in us, we can ask what we will and it will be given. I'm for real. We soldiers, them old ones, baby, they died in the army or they wounded. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, I think my little recording is, they gonna limit me to my hour and 30 minutes like I said I'm supposed to be doing. But y'all, I'm for real. I'm for real about what I say. I'm for real about what I say. It's really important to me that people see the authenticity. That people see the authenticity and they actually feel God working and moving, because it's wonderful to preach. I think it's wonderful. But when you don't have the for real presence of God on the inside of you, when you don't have it on the inside of you, oh, thank you, Ramona. I want to get it real soon. I really do. I pray to God I do. But when you don't have the authenticity of who God is on the inside of you, it's going to be hard for you to exemplify what you're preaching, because you only have a form. You ain't got no power, not the true power of God. I ain't talking about this mess Juanita got. I here got this Kadula Wheeler, whatever that mess she out here doing. You can't preach to thousands. And so whoever this woman is, somebody, Juanita gonna sue you with, baby, you can sue if you want to. Sue if you want to. But you're gonna further embarrass yourself. You're gonna further embarrass yourself. You know why? You're gonna embarrass yourself because you are going to get embarrassed by the slew of people that come out of the groves, the mangroves and the woods to testify to who you are and your life. That's why I tell people, this is why I tell people, you got to be for real about what you do. You have the opportunity to minister to the hundreds of thousands and millions, because there's a huge world out here, y'all. There's a huge world out here. You have the opportunity to minister to millions and millions of people. You have that opportunity, but you choose to be concerned about your wealth. God has already given you the platform. God has already given you the platform. But when you take advantage of the people that God sent you to, he will surely, and I mean this, he will surely take you down. You'll lose your throne. You'll lose your throne. I'm not trying to lose my throne. I love being king. But I'm telling you right now, it don't even matter. When I tell you got to have thick skin, these Negroes on this platform say all kind of stupid stuff. I got people talking about I'm going to hell, you gonna do this, and that's gonna happen to you. And I just be sitting there like, so you gonna waste your time to people writing books. Hey Alexa, people writing books telling me how I'm not in God. I'm like, baby, problem is you don't know God. You don't know God. And see, when you know God, somebody said, well, God used the ass, so I guess God can use you too. Ha, 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 ha. But what you don't understand is that very same ass took Jesus right onto the cross. Ha! How about that one? That very same ass took Jesus to his destiny. So if it's my job to push you to your destiny, to actually do right and live right, I've served my purpose. I'm not worried about what you say about me. It's cool. It's cool. Hey, Shiloh. It's cool. It doesn't matter what you say about me. I'm going to do my job. Until the Lord calls me home, I'm going to do my job. We was talking about her earlier. I think she's on some of the other video that I had to cut off because it was cutting off. But Alexa, you going to have to watch this again because, baby, you was late. But, you know, this little ass situation, if God used an ass, he can use you too, I guess. Ha, ha. We all have a purpose. And maybe I am that ass. But I'll help you get to where you need to get to. Just know that. I'm just doing what he called me to do. You know what? On my other videos, I have that. I think I had it on here. I ain't gonna even try to mess with it because I'm gonna end up cutting this mug off by accident. But yeah, Coming to America has always been my my intro theme. I would show it to y'all right now, but I ain't gonna do that because I ain't got it on this particular iPad. But yeah, I mean, y'all can go through some of these videos and read some of these comments, and what I'm talking about is legit and it's real. But what the people say is, you're not qualified to tell me anything. And I'm just like, sitting back, looking, and sipping on tea. And all I say to y'all is this. I'm going to go back to my song. The song says, if ye abide in me, and I abide in you, you can ask what you will, and it shall be given to you. The only name I got for y'all is just King Jive, Team King Jives. I mean, I love my crew. I love y'all. I really do. I love my crew. I love you guys. I really do. I really do. Because, like I told, it was one girl named Stephanie on here. And I told Stephanie, because she sent me a message on Instagram. I said, you know I say some things that you may not agree on, but, you know, just consider, she said, Mara, she said, there are some things that I don't agree with. She said, but I respect what you're saying. Somebody said, you said King Cruisers. I think she had a yellow little poncho thing on, and it was another video before that too. But she's been responding to me in a lot of her videos lately. You know, she told me that I don't have enough power to come against her demons and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, if you say so, but whatever. But I'm gonna get off here because it's getting late in the evening, and I need some of y'all